Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. Are we audible? Could you just type in the chat box? Could we get some more? Yes. Are we audible? Say- say- listen. So, good evening to everyone. On behalf of 24th Mile, welcome back to day two of our series. We are thrilled to have you join us today as we embark on the journey of learning and improvement. I, Joshua Kunder from IMT Hyderabad.
I, Sneha Patil from Sri Balaji University, Pune.
We would be your host for today. We hope that you find these presentations insightful and inspiring. So, before we begin, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge our esteemed guest and introduce our mentor, Dr. Sudhir Kadam, corporate trainer transformation coach with over 27 years of experience in MNC leadership training. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, and a lovely evening to everybody. It's pleasure to be part of this learning series, and we are on the day two of learning. And yesterday we had a really good evening with everybody, and it was a quite good session. Thanks to Joshua and Sneha for that. Let's let's hope to today's day to be more insightful, and request all of you to be participating full-heartedly with answering the questions and also putting your views because it's not a training session, it's a learning session. Okay, so let's continue. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, DATO Ramesh Kodammal. Is the chairman of Goldtex Group of Companies, a leading enterprise in the garment and textile industry since 1973. He is the founder and chairman of Asian Indian Business Council, AIBC, Malaysian chapter, and co-chairman of AIBC. He serves as a council member of the Malaysian Associated Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry and chairs its international trade division. Additionally, he has held numerous leadership roles, including Deputy President of Kuala Lumpur Selangor Indian Chambers of Commerce and Treasurer of the National Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Malaysia, actively promoting Asian Indian business interests. Mr. Ramesh has also been instrumental in strengthening bilateral trade relations and has participated in various international forums as a speaker and a moderator. We are deeply grateful for your presence and look forward for your valuable insights, sir. Over to you.
Thank you. A very good evening to all of you who are present there today. It gives me a great honor to be with you all on this session. As we always say, that learning is something which is very important to all of us, for the beginners and also for the people who are already successful in their business, always have an opportunity to learn and improve on themselves. I think today's session is going to be very interesting because as you see, the world is moving into a different direction. Within the last 30 years, we have seen that the world has taken leaps in different forms and has moved differently. And it is very important for us at this stage to understand and learn where we are concerned in businesses on what is coming up next. We do understand that the whole world has moved up into AI, which we call artificial intelligence, which is something which is very important to us. And we all are looking at it in a manner where we hope that the future of AI will benefit us. But I always have got a thought that AI is something interesting, which we have moved forward with. But what about RI? So when I spoke of RI, someone told me, are you talking of return on investment? I said, no, my dear friends, it is the real intelligence. AI is overtaking real intelligence, and actually the real intelligence is deteriorating to a certain level where the youngsters are concerned because they're too dependent on the artificial intelligence. Once you start depending on an artificial intelligence, your way of thinking, your way of doing things will totally be lost. And what is the learning process for us to keep us intact, to improve ourselves in our walk of life on a daily basis? It's very important that we keep on reading and doing research on ourselves and understand what is happening in the world today. Today, the world is actually moving into a different direction, as I mentioned earlier. The world's geopolitical situation in the world is actually taking us into loggerheads with each other. So what are we supposed to do as businessmen? Are we supposed to follow the trend of the geopolitical situation, take our direction to enhance our business, or to look at things beyond that? These are the questions which we always ask ourselves. The most important thing today is that understanding the geopolitical situation, we as businessmen have to learn and understand what we need within ourselves to grow. You will get a lot of suggestions, lot of questions and answers coming towards you on what is the next you can do. Today, if you look at India, we are always talking of India's growth. It's something which is very interesting. India's GDP has grown up to 7.5%, and we can see the growth is there. Things are happening in India, but also we must understand one thing, that India is growing. There's no doubt about it. But what is the per capita income of the Indians today? Is very much lower than others. So we have to also look at the other side of it, on how we can actually focus and improve on this level. How long will it take? On our research, it says that for India to reach the per capita income of about 12,000 US dollars, which is now about 2,000, is going to take some time. So we are going to be caught in a trap of moving forward and also enhancing ourselves to a different extent. This is not only happening in India. Today, even you look at other countries, we have a lot of challenges which are coming in. In ASEAN, we are talking of ASEAN, collective group of countries, 10 together, trying to move forward. ASEAN has got challenges, even though it's a population of 670 million people, we see that we have our challenges. There's no doubt about it. We can see one country in ASEAN, a small country, Singapore, is always spoken of. Look at the growth of Singapore. Look at the progress of Singapore. So what about other countries like Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar? They still need a push for them to grow. But we are a collective group. So we must understand that the growth is there, and it is going to take time for us to move forward. All this is a learning process to see where and how we place our feet to move forward. Malaysia will be the next chair of ASEAN next year. Laos is the chair this year. Malaysia will be having a lot of things and ideas to work on during its term as chair of ASEAN. We would like to see the problems in Myanmar being solved. But who is the chair after Malaysia? We'll have Philippines as our chair. And then again, when you come back to Philippines, after Malaysia undertaking the year of the chair, we see that Philippines is very close with US, with the problems in the South China Sea. So as businessmen, we have to overall see the global situation. We have to understand, improve ourselves, see the surrounding, the geopolitical situation, see the situation in our own country, and then move forward. I think this is a very good learning session for many of us who feel that we must not only be totally focused in our business. I've been in business for the last 51 years. I've always believed in one thing. We have to look at what we are doing. We have to look at the surrounding areas which are going to help us to improve ourselves. We must not be a frog in the well, thinking that this is our world. We must be open-minded. We must try to look at things beyond what we think we are. We must understand and learn from others, which is very important to us in our growth chain. Trade is something which every businessman feels they can do. But today, business is not what it was 30 years or 40 years ago. Today, for business, you need finance, you need the right people on your platform working for you, you need the markets which you are going to explore to benefit. You have to build up your domestic market, which you must be knowing. So these are all the challenges today, my dear friends, which you all are going to face and you all are going to understand. For my dear friends who are coming up in business, don't worry. It's a cycle. You have to go through a cycle to groom yourself to be better. Nothing happens in one day, 1 year, or 1 month. It takes time. And time is the essence for growth for everyone. Patience. You have to be patient if you want to progress in your life. It is not about only telling I'm going to do it today and forgetting about things tomorrow. So these are some things which I just would like to share. And I'm very sure that in time to come, we'll have more discussions, more understanding, so that we can help each other to progress. In life, you must remember, we have to hold hands and move forward. You cannot be a lone ranger moving forward in your life. You must, I have got a formula which I would like to share with you all. When I was young, I had a good friend who taught me of a formula of 20, 40, 60. So many of them, when I talked about 20, 40, 60, did not understand what is 20, 40, 60. At that time, I was about 40 years of age, and he told me that 20, 40, 60 is a very important formula. Hey, what is 20, 40, 60? He said, when you're 40 years old, you must have friends who are 20 years old. Don't forget the youngsters. Keep them in your loop. Make them your friends. And also have friends who are 60 years old. And your friends of 40 will always be with you. So when you grow up in life at 60, your friends who are 20 will be 40. They will be supporting you in your life. And the friends who are 60 will become 80. They'll be giving you advice in your life. And you will never get lost in your life because you have the young and old with you and you'll progress in your life. So this is something I learned. And I'm sharing with you because it's very important. Without youngsters, we cannot grow. And without elderly people, we don't have the right advice for us. So you must always be between the lines to have the young and the old together with you for advice and support and move forward in your life. So this is one thing I would like to share with all of you. I think it's very important. Don't neglect the youngsters. Keep them as your friends. Don't neglect the elders. Keep them as your advice. And you with your friends will always be happy and grow forward. So these are a few things which I like to share. And I hope we'll meet again in another session. We'll discover. I think you all have got my details. If anyone needs any help on this side of the world, I'm always there to help you all, guide you all, and also work with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights. We hope to implement these things in our day-to-day life. So today's session is on lean and root cause and effect analysis. So as we did yesterday 5S and Kaizen, so this is an extension to yesterday's session. So looking forward, lean. Looking at the learning objectives for today's session, we'll give a quick glimpse. We are going to look at the lean background. What are the lean principles? 8 deadly waste that we need to eliminate. What are standard work, visual management, and root cause and effect analysis. So, giving you a little bit background of what lean comes from and originates. So, it is part of Toyota's management philosophy. So, this is an extension to Kaizen. As Toyota had many problems in its manufacturing process, so they developed Kaizen. But in Toyota's view, the main method that lean is not a tool, but in simple terms, it reduces 3 types of waste. That is muda. It is a non-value adding waste. Muri is like what overburdens a person or a facility, and mura is unevenness. So, uh, what is lean? Lean is nothing but the waste that we see in all the activities. We need to eliminate those waste. Lean, as Ramesh sir and Sudhir sir did emphasize, it is all about continuously improving everything. May it be a day-to-day life in terms of our work life or in terms of our day-to-day habits. So it's a way of pursuing value for business by systematically eliminating waste from our daily process. Sudhir sir, would you like to add some value to it?
Okay, yes. So let's start from the first slide itself. And something struck my mind looking at that. Can you just put the previous slide? Yeah. So I think this picture is of Japan's map, isn't it? Yeah, the map one. All the audience, I mean, if you can connect to the global map, this map is of Japan. And I used to wonder why Japanese people are so focused on lean management. And then when we look at the global map, their country itself is a lean country. So it's very small and narrow country. Both the sides, it's a sea. Okay, and that's what probably triggered them to keep the things minimal. Okay, so in layman's language, I would say that lean is nothing but keeping the things minimal. Minimal in the sense, whatever is not required is not required. Let's not keep it as a buffer. Okay, whether it is excess inventory, whether it is excess of anything. So most of the people, they tend to have a backup plan B. Okay, so plan B doesn't fit in lean situation. Okay, so we need to remove whatever is not required as of now. So that basically indicates what is lean. And I'm sure the house over here is quite knowledgeable about the lean principles, but we'll take a deep dive into some of the methodologies and then some of the techniques which are used or tools which are used to implement lean. Okay, from last 10 years, I've been propagating on this particular aspect of there is an ample amount of knowledge available. So whatever slides you are seeing, you'll be able to generate better slides using Chat GPT, AI, and Slide GPT, and you'll get a huge amount of knowledge. But it's more important that how do I convert that knowledge into my results? Okay, so that is what we will be focusing on. Yes, and whatever the takeaways or the objectives are set. So the question to all of you, I want all of you to attempt this question. It's a very easy question. And first ask is that, yes, you will be spending around 45 minutes from now to learn about lean and root cause analysis. And I want each one of you to take something with you. Okay, that is something with you in the sense which you will be able to implement. Okay. And I just want a commitment from all of you. How many of you are really committed to take something as a takeaway and then implement in your workplace, even before knowing what we are going to talk about? Just let me know if yes in the chat box, and then I hand over to Joshua for the next session. Okay, over to you, Joshua.
Thank you, sir. So here we look at major
Yeah,
principles of
thank you,
lean.
thank you. Yes, yes, yes.
So the first one is we need to identify the value. Identify value is what adds value to the customer's perspective. So, for example, if a customer support team realizes a customer wants a quick answer, so they would see that it's been asked again and again. So they would set up a chatbot in order to answer normal questions, and that would provide a quicker service, freeing up human agents for more complex tasks. Also, if we talk about mapping value streams, mapping out all the steps in the process and identifying which step adds value and which step does not. For example, a office team tracks the process of creating monthly reports and noticing that they have a lot of approvals needed in terms of getting it approved. So they could try cutting down how many times the particular thing has been reviewed, and they could decide to have one final approval. So this would speed up the process altogether. So also we need to create flow in order to ensure that the value adding step flows smoothly without any interruptions. So maybe if you take a real life example, a team is responsible for onboarding new employees. So as a company, we should always ensure that all the necessary paperwork and all the obligations are complete before the new hire joins. So this prevents and also saves time in terms of the new employee. So he can start the work immediately. Also, we need to establish pull. So pull is nothing but produce only what is needed and when it's needed. So as we talked on yesterday's session, all the five S's. So let's see, an office manager, he orders office supplies. So he should only order office supplies that are needed in the office, just not for the sake of it. So this could reduce clutter and unnecessary items and also reduce waste from unused supplies. One thing, as we Indians always seek for perfection, that is continuously seek to improve process and eliminate waste. So let's take an administrative assistant notice that there's a lot of manual entry of data in a form, and that could have loads of errors, and again it has to be re-entered into the system. So this creates a lot of rework in terms of doing the work. So taking the live example of 24th mile, so we have automated the documentation process for our clients. So instead of doing the tedious paperwork, you could just fill one form and all documentation related to export and import can be simplified in one step. So this is how we are striving for perfection. So these are your expert opinion on this.
Yes, yes. So basically, this is very self-explanatory, but still, just to add on that, it's very important that before we implement any new tool or technique, it's very important that we understand the basic principles. Because once we understand the basic principles, our why becomes clear. And if the why is clear, then the how becomes easy. Okay. So that's all from my side here.
Thank you, sir. So moving on, it is very important as an organization or as a human being in how we define value. What are value added things and what are not value added things? So, for example, a customer, if you're a customer, understanding what adds value. So, identifying what truly matters to a customer. If we take an example such as Starbucks, so in a coffee shop, customer values quick service and fresh coffee. So, by streamlining on the process of ordering and brewing process, the shop ensures that the customer gets coffee faster and fresher. So, that's how we can work on customer experiences in terms of in terms of understanding what is value added and what is not. We could understand how things could add value to a certain person's life. What services the customer has been demanding, what is not being demanded by the customer. Is the customer ready to pay for the service? Is he not ready to pay for the service? Non-value added things can also be about consumes resources without creating any value for the customer. It may require sometimes extra time, effort, or resources. The customer may not be very interested in if you're going to order a cake, so he may not be interested how much time do we take to preheat the oven. He would be mainly focused on the baking process of the cake. That would give him delight. So it is very evident enough to understanding what are the things that are adding value to our organization and what are the things that are non-value added things. So this is your take on it.
Yeah, this is a very crucial part which everybody understands. It's not that it's difficult to understand, but at the same time, it's very important that we are having that vision or that sight of identifying these NVS. And from my experience, I'm very confident that the moment we start eliminating the NVS, small or big, we immediately start getting the results faster. Okay, just to have a layman's example, say for example, and there's a live case which happened with me 2 3 months back. I was in a restaurant and it was a very good restaurant, newly opened or something like that. That restaurant people, they thought that let us add value to our customers, and they arranged for a live orchestra. And I had gone there with my family for a peaceful dinner, and that orchestra turned out to be a headache for me. Okay, so they have spent some money on that, and their USP was fine dine and cool place to sit, and they changed. They tried to add some value which was not perceived by the customers who came there. Okay, so it's very important that you choose the right valuation. Otherwise, it becomes an NVA for the user. And it's not only the customer experience. It's just a small example. But even at our workplace, whatever is not adding with all these 5 principles or 5 examples, we ensure that we take a decision of removing it. Because most of the time, what happens is we identify it, but the decision of removing the NVA gets delayed, or it's sometimes it happens that it is dependent on multiple people or a team, and then sometimes it doesn't get get executed. So we as a managers, we as a leaders, we should ensure that yes, this is a NVA is a NVA, and for NVA the only action is removal. That's it. Okay, over to you, Joshua.
Thank you, sir. So lean also helps us to understand, like, what adds value to the customer. As we looked at the coffee example, what would actually add value to the customer in terms of work. We saw the previous examples of how mapping out the workflow to see the tasks are completed in the given stipulated time, in terms of preparing the sales report, in terms of getting things approved and streamlined. So it speeds up the process. Also, in terms of problem solving and identifying the root cause of the problem. So, for example, it may be just as simple as if a printer breaks down in the office frequently. We could always ask the five whys of why is it breaking down. Maybe it's the low quality of the ink cartridge, or maybe switching to a higher quality of a cartridge. So it could be as simple as that. It's not always complex situations. Also, a process like defining the ideal process, how it looks like. So visualizing the perfect process to identify and eliminate the waste. If you take an example of warehouse, see, the ideal process of packing orders involves having packing materials within in close distances, within easy reach. So rearranging the workplace in such a way that keeping the packing materials closer, we would reduce the time in spending walking back and forth and speeding up the packaging processes. Also, looking at the opportunities and identifying how to improve performances, continuously looking for ways to enhance efficiency. Customer team, let's say, as I talked on with the chatbots, customer service teams may see that we are always getting review calls about certain common questions about the company or the framework. So we could always create a Q&A for the company website to reduce the repetitive number of calls. That's by improving, it helps in improving the overall efficiencies. So these principles illustrates how lean in thinking can be applied to various aspects of our life, be it our personal life, work life, and enhance value and streamline processes. So, audience, the question to you: what do you think when the word lean management comes to you? Any answers? You could type in the chat box. Eliminating waste. Okay. So, so when we see lean management, so it is basically we apply lean principles such as 5S that we looked at yesterday, 8 waste elimination, standardized work, and visual management. These are the key building blocks that we use as a continuous process improvement in terms of optimizing our lean operations. So we would delve deeper into this in the upcoming slides. Sir, would you like to add value to it?
Yeah. First of all, let me thank Mr. LP Mahala for his contribution to the questions. And coincidentally, his initials talk about lean principle. uh, Jokes apart, but yeah, this basically is the base. Yesterday we spoke about 5S. We spoke about how to implement 5S. So 5S is one of the tools which can be used for implementing lean management. Perhaps uh, rather it's the first basic tool where we need to start with. But just starting with 5S is not going to help us in arriving at the entire lean concept. And these pillars of lean concept, first pillar is the 5S, and then rest all pillars are also equally important. And it's the expertise, lean expertise, which will actually walk all of us through which comes first, because first thing first is very important. Okay. And yesterday we discussed about the first thing. Now today I think these 4 pillars will tell us about the next step towards actually having a lean organization. Okay. Lean organization in the terms right from people management to shop floor management to inventory to any assets which we are having. Over to you, Sneha, please.
Thank you, sir. Let's see what. Till now, we understood that the key building blocks for the lean management are 5S, 8 Ws, that is 8 waste, standardized work, visual management. So, covering up 5S, I think so. Everyone till today, means those who had attended the class for I mean, like the event yesterday, they know that 5S are Siri, Saturn, Sisu, Shiketsu, and Shitsuke. Let's go for the next pillar, that is 8W, that is our 8 deadly waste, that is also called as Mudda. Hmm? So let's begin with the transportation. Transportation, in sense, how would a transportation be a waste? That I would say warehouse and the production house. They are quite afar. They are like 500 meters away from each other. There would be an unnecessary movement. Instead, you all can design a plan or a layout so that the raw material storage and the production house are quite near to them, quite 50 meters or 100 meters near about. The inventory, coming towards the inventory, I would say unnecessary unfinished goods, stocking them up. This would only block your cash flow, and there is no incoming flow. Your outflow will be more. Similarly, moving towards the motions are nothing but movement of people. Now you all will say, why is this a waste, a person moving from one place to another? For example, there are two machines that are aligned at a far distance. One machine is placed at a destination X point, and other machine is placed at a Y point. The distance is, again, I would take 500 meters. But why don't you keep those machines which are to function one after other nearby, like 50 meters? That would be fine. Why to increase the motion from one place to other? The operators need to move from one location to other. Similarly, in our day-to-day life or in offices, we can keep our stationaries and all the printing papers or the required items near to each other, so that your time is saved and the motion is reduced. Human intellect. This is a negligence of human. Some or the other time we try to misplace, or due to our forgetfulness, we displace the items here and there. This is called as human intellect negligence. This can be avoided if you be quite conscious with the discipline stuff in your life. Waiting, waiting for the next process, especially in manufacturing, I would say. The machine, there are several steps. For example, the raw materials are bought, purchased, and then there is then it is stored, then it is went for then it goes for a quality test, and then it goes for production. In production also there are various steps: segregating, and then sorting, then mixing. Every n numbers of steps can happen in different types of in industries. In machineries, there could be grinding, there could be lubricating, there could be welding. The steps are needed. But what happens if one process is taking 20 minutes, whereas it should be consuming only 10 minutes of your time? This is what it is, waiting for the next step. It is taking 10 minutes extra so that it gets towards the next step. This is again a waste. Waste of what? Waste of time, waste of the human skills. And this is how it is waiting is a waste in terms of mudda. Over processing, for example, in manufacturing, there is a metal piece which is quite long. Desired length is 100 meters, but the process went that you all have cut it to 150 meters. The metal rod is not needed of 150 meters. You need to again go to the cutter, get it grinded, and again repeat the process. This is what over processing. One thing is repeated again and again. Overproduction, for example, during the sale season, there is overproduction of things, umbrella or the raincoats or any food items or the clothing. You produce, why? Because there is a sudden rise in the sales. But have you ever thought, if there is no purchase in next month, there is just a peak of purchase due to certain reasons? For example, I would say it's a rainy season. There is a peak in a purchase of raincoats and all that. But what about winters? Once the winter comes, your production will be like, what's the use of the product? So you should think before producing the material or the product, what is the stats of your sales? Never overproduce it. It will again stop your inflow of cash. Defects. If you're making a product, you should make sure the quality of the product is quite appropriate so that customer is satisfied with what he is obtaining. They should not be, what is this? For example, I bought any cell phone, a smartphone. But after buying it, I found that its battery is not working. It's defective. What's the use? The company has to rework. They have to recall the all the cell phones, and then they have to declare that this product has been recalled due to certain issues. Why? Because there is a defect. The defect is not limited to one product. It gets extended to a batch. Not only in smartphones, you can see it in food industry. You can even see in the automobiles. Recently, I think Tesla had to recall their cars from the market due to some emergency negligence. So this defects not only will impact you in in small scale, it will impact you to a larger scale. That in terms of money, your energy resource, your working skills, all the resources go in waste if the product is defective. So to recall this, I have come up with a short acronym. How to remember this 8 types of waste? That is downtime. D for defects, O for overproduction, how to avoid it. W for waiting, reduce your waiting time, N to negligence of human intellect. Unused talents. There are skilled talents in India as well, but they are not provided with the opportunities. They are not provided with the same platforms that could be given. Means like we can come up with a platform to provide them. Transportation for T, I for inventory, M for motion, and E for excess production or overproduction. I hope this was quite interesting to learn a downtime in a short period of this session. So, what do you think? What can we add to this?
Yeah, this acronym is really good. It's very easy to remember, and it also connects with the actual impact of not not implementing all these things. The defect will also, all of this will lead to downtime in some or the other. Good, good, impressive. Yeah, I would like to add something onto the previous slide. I mean, it's the same content, but just can I just go one slide
Yes.
back? So first of all, let me ask this question to everybody. How many of you really feel that the word deadly suits this? Is it so deadly, or it's a exaggeration of, yeah, it's not so deadly. Anyways, let's assume that yes, even if it's not deadly, but it's definitely going to impact if we are not paying attention to this. Okay. And all of this fit in most of the industries. Okay. So if you just take your own industry, your own example, it will fit in somewhere or the other. Okay. Let's take one example of, say, waiting time. I'll give you one classic case study which I did on myself. I used to frequently travel between two cities, that is Pune and Mumbai. And we used to start early at 6 o'clock in the morning. So if I don't start at 6 o'clock in the morning, after every 15 minutes, the more I postpone my travel, every 15 minutes cost me around 30 minutes in Mumbai. Okay. So that timing, that waiting timing was very high. So that told me that yes, if I have to reduce my waiting time in the traffic, I have to start at 6 p.m. Secondly, all these defects or all these waste factors, or in short, what is called as the downtime, if you look at in two aspects, one aspect is like if I am given an opportunity to set up a new plant, definitely all this should not be present. Okay. Well, design my new plant using the latest technology in such a way that most of these wastages will be taken care, because I will ensure that there is no extra transportation. I will also ensure that all my machineries are in sync with the flow of the machine. This happens when I am a small company in size and I have a growth plan. So I'm growing my sales, but I don't have any plan for increasing, growing or expanding my infrastructure. And all of a sudden, there is a pressure on increasing the infrastructure. So whatever gives me the way, I try to find and fit in that. And that eventually leads to all these 8Ws. Okay. So these are the examples which are live now. Why? Because most of the small scale, medium scale industries, they are now scaling up because of the business going up, because of the demand going up, and they are scaling up from the point of view of increasing the sales, but they are simultaneously not focusing on scaling up the infrastructure, and that actually is the root cause of this deadly waste. Okay. So I hope you all are getting connected with what I'm trying to say. If not, it's very important that we draw our attention. If some people are from production sales, they will be able to correlate this, because this normally happens when the sales forecast is not given correctly and the production lands up either overproducing it or underproducing it. Both the ways, it's a wastage. Okay. So yes, over to you, Sneha.
Yes, sir. So, continuing with our other pillar, our building block for a lean function is standard work. Standard work, I would say it's a simple written format, or you can call it a guideline that how the process should go. This is not only helpful for the safety of the process, but it ensures you the highest quality and efficiency of the performance or the task that is being taken. It describes the only acceptable way to do the process. It can be a continual improvement as per the needed situation. What are the benefits? You all would say why to have a standard work. The benefits are it reduces the time for processing. If I am new, I have a standard work format. I will go through the process and I will be able to clear my work or the task as soon as possible. But if there is a new joinee, he is unaware about the process, then he might take time to analyze the process and learn it and then go through it. Instead of that, why don't you provide him with a certain procedure which is quite standard, and that's how your organization is working or your the company works. This will reduce your time. This will make people less dependent on each other, and this can be easily understood. And this process is quite simple. It is not quite tedious to do. It helps you reduce the variation in the workflow. As you know, from A to B, I have to follow this path. You don't have to go around. This will reduce the variation. This will reduce any disturbances in the process. These are the benefits of opting and adopting and implementing the standard work. So, what say? Is it optimal to have the standard work process in day-to-day life as well?
Unknowingly, most of us do that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Right from we wake up in the morning, we don't spend time in searching where is my toothbrush and toothpaste. Why? Because
Yeah.
standardized. It's already standardized, and it's just one small example, but everywhere we do that. When it
Yes, sir.
comes to organization, I would always recommend. In fact, I've done this in many organizations in my tenures, that more visual, more better. Okay, rather than putting text SOPs, standard work operating procedures, it's always better to have pictorial SOPs because they don't need any language to explain, isn't it? So more pictorial, more pictures is easy to understand, visible from far away place, and you don't need much of explanation. Of course, a little bit of text is required, but if you ask me about the effectiveness, the pictorial SOPs are more effective. Some cases you need to elaborate. Yes, you can elaborate, but still ensure that you include some picture. Okay. Like everybody knows, when we talk about safety, PP is to be worn. So you'll find a door, entrance door, there's a picture. You need to wear a safety helmet. There is a picture with a person wearing a helmet, goggle, whatever safety PPEs are required. So that appeals any person, even an illiterate person. That's yes, this is the thing which I need to carry forward. So that is one input, though it's a very common thing. But if you listen it and then if you have missed it somewhere, you can go back and implement this. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so
Yes, sir.
much. Sneha. Yeah.
So you gave our next pillar point, that is a visual, why visual management.
Okay. Yeah.
That was our upcoming
Yeah.
pillar. That is why visual management is quite necessary. It's quite crucial component of effective organization management and efficient operations for day-to-day life. And every it gives you a quick and clear state of working. It avoids you from getting confused. What would be the process? It reduces your issues and gives you a clear idea how the process is going to work. I would give you a few examples. You all can relate to it. That is, these are the everyday visual management, which we oftenly neglect, but they are quite crucial. The first aid kit, traffic light signals, emergency doors, the washrooms, the symbols of male and female. I know you all might say, what's the difference? If it is neglected, what would be a issue? If, for example, I would say, in especially in chemical industry, if I don't put a visual of symbol of toxic waste or a toxic chemical, if an unknown person comes and touches the chemicals, what would be the reaction? What would be the consequences? It would be quite hazardous. The person may die. So it's quite important that you consider the safety of that person as well as everyone in the organization. Then simultaneously, it can be into our operations as well. The warning sensors, the machines do have the warning sensors. Before breakdown, they give you the signals that the machine is going slow. You all will say, what's the use? Before going breakdown, why is the machine giving you a warning sensor? This helps you to understand that there is certain problem in the machine, and then you can take a pre-process, means like before breakdown you can go for maintenance. This will reduce your time. Instead of getting 10 hours for a breakdown, you'll sort out the issue in 1 hour, and your process will be back to this line. The product won't be hampered, nor your time will be wasted. This is what visual management helps you. It helps you in saving your time, it helps you in your safety, it helps in easy understanding, and even a layman can understand what the symbols are. You don't need a special kind of teachings like this means this. That's the beauty. Coming towards our main topic of okay, sir, please.
Can you just come to your previous slides? Yeah,
Yeah.
before this. Now, dear friends, here is the not this one. Yeah, this one. Here is the live example. Okay. Now, Sneha is very much impressed by visual techniques, etc., etc., etc. And I would suggest Sneha that this particular box of text should have been converted into a visual management. Okay, so I'm not comfortable in reading the text. Instead of that, what is she saying? Use of blah 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 blah. Identify issues, make informed decisions. Had it this been a bulleted one, had this had been a bulleted one, it would have been more effective. How many of you agree with this particular slide? If it had been a bulleted one, 2, 3, 4, 5, it would have been more effective. Now it's not nothing to do with you. It's just a classic example how we
No,
can
sir, it's fine. It's fine.
actually implement the knowledge. How do we actually get the knowledge into implementation? Okay, because what happens is, on one hand, we take the knowledge and we think that this is applicable only to this work area. But fortunately, 5S, lean management, etc., it works for all aspects of our life, all aspects of our life. So that's the thing which I really want, because this immediately clicked me. This is not in line with lean, or this is not in line
Yes.
with visual management. Okay. So
Yes,
over to
sir.
you. Yeah, you can continue with this topic. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes. Coming towards our main next topic, that is root cause and effect analysis. It is uh, well known as fishbone diagram, Ishikawa diagram, or C and E diagram. What exactly is this visual about? It helps you in problem solving and analyzing the root cause of any problem that arise in day-to-day activity or in operations. This this technique was given by Kaura Ishikawa in 1960s. It is variously used in industries to identify and understand the cause of a specific problem or issue. Now, you might question, why is it called fishbone diagram? You can understand Ishikawa is named after him, but why fishbone? Uh, there is some similarity to the fishbone. Can you all see anything which like related the problems as the fish head, the causes as the fish bones, and the categories as the branches of the fish? This is why it was renamed or also famously called as a fishbone diagram. Let's understand what a fishbone analysis is, or Ishikawa analysis is. Every problem will be an effect. But what for an effect to happen or to occur, there will be certain cause. For example, for rain, there needs to be cloud gathering at a place. The winds might be flowing, the temperature, the humidity, all the cause will lead to a rainfall. Even one factor here and there won't be a rain. And certain times it would be a quite heavy rain that could cause a problem. Similarly, in our operations, we have n numbers of problems that occur. There could be a machine breakdown in a manufacturing unit. There could be a late delivery. There could be a problem in sales. This is how you can relate our problems. Problems as an effect, and this horizontal arrow with the various causes in our day-to-day activities. This could be man, method, material, or equipments and environments. The sub branches are the subtopics which can be small reasons, a small cause that is leading to a big trouble that can be identified and solved prior causing any issue. Let's take an example of a company, a small company, to explain this fishbone diagram in an easy manner. A small company is facing a sales decrease. Let's analyze using a fishbone diagram. So should I proceed before any views before taking this example?
No, no, please continue. Please continue.
Yeah. I had this is a hypothetical example where a small company is facing certain issue in sales. They usually had three modes of sales channel that was through online website, the website direct website sales. Second one was through phone call sales, and third was the online platforms like Amazon, Flipkart. But they eventually started facing a downfall in the sales through the phone calls. Why there was a drop? This needs to be identified, a drop in the phone call sales. After analyzing, they found out three major causes, that was people, technology, and telephone problem. Moving towards the people, what were the problem with the people? People could be the employees. What exactly the employees were struggling with? They were struggling with the follow. After connecting with a client, you need to keep a follow. On a call, you generally you speak for 10 seconds and then you forget that someone had called for this and that. And after means like as a customer, I would face that. I had a call from a company for sales. I showed some interest, but there was no response. Again, a follow-up call from the company so that I can crack the deal. So there could be a problem. It could be leads documented on spreadsheet. Means I got as a customer, I showed an interest. The salesperson documented that I am interested, took my details, but there was no other action taken. This is the company end issue. Now I have this salesperson is quite new to the organization and he's not able to close a deal. That could be my problem with the people, that is man resource problems. But coming towards it's a phone call, what could be more issues? It could be the technology, the website are not displaying the contact details. For the customer to connect with you, you need your contact details visible on the website. Similarly, the website was not as friendly. You don't completely go in on laptop or on PC and check with the website. Nowadays, we have cell phones. We go directly on cell phones and click on the link and we buy, purchase. For example, we go on Amazon, Myntra. We'll directly go and click on the link and easy phone, impulse purchasing. All this happens because of this technology, smartphone. But if your phone is not friendly with, means like your phone is not as uh, being used, the technology is getting wasted. So what's we this could be other reason that is causing you the problem. Coming towards the telephone branch, like I'm as a customer, I get the response as, "Hi, I heard you are interested in this," or I might speak quite rudely. "Hi, I had received a call from inquiry call from you." This could sound quite rude or inappropriate to customers. You need to be quite gentle. Your voice needs to be quite pleasing, so that the customer is convinced. But that could be an issue in our telephone prompts, receiving a chatbot. Now, as a customer, I try to contact the company, but the company always said, "Wait for 5 minutes. We'll surely connect with the salesperson." But this was quite repetitive. That made the customer quite irritated, or he lost his interest to buy that product. That was an error with telephone prompt. All this led to a big drastic effect. That was a drop in sales by 20%. So this was just a few parts of the problems. There could be n numbers of problems this company could have listed. Similarly, in our life, we have a problem with sales, either in manufacturing department that this machine is not working. What could be the reasons? Is it the people? Is it the production team? Or is it the raw material? This you need to analyze. What could be the major causes? As I had shown in the previous slide, this was a man, method, material, equipment, and environment issue. These are the major causes. And that you will have a sub cause that could lead to this major cause, and major cause will lead to you a drastic effect. So to avoid this, surely you need a plan of action. What could be a plan of action? I just have presented you a sample that y'all can take an action plan as I have given. But I would like to listen more plan of actions from you after analyzing one problem. Here we had an issue with the salesperson, as I stated. That person is not able to close the deals. Who needs to do that? The salesperson? Meeting, what can we do with the salesperson? We need to meet that salesperson, we need to connect him, and we can say him that this results are not going to work. We need to give him some targets. You need to work on that. How can he improve that? He can take an assistance from his seniors, or maybe he need to upskill few things in his activity. That could be the things that he needs to be, that he has to do it on a personal scale. By when? What would be the deadline? I need to give a certain target that by this date, I need your deals to be done, your all the things which are kept in pending, I need it to be done. Conversion rate, I would say measurement as in yesterday's session. What gets measured is always impactful, and the results get visible. As I think Sudhir sir would be giving a best example with this, that how measuring the things is important and showing an impactful result. A conversion report will always help you to understand how your previous sales or this person's sales was. And after doing a meeting, after taking certain actions and implementing certain solutions, what were the changes that he has brought to the organization? Similarly, audience, I would like y'all to find some solutions on certain problems. I got up with a new salesperson not closing a deal. Will you all suggest me any of the solutions for other parameters or the causes, sub causes? Please reply me on the chat box. How can this company come up with solutions, or y'all can suggest any solutions that you would say? So these, what would you suggest our audience or this company?
Okay, with regards to this particular example, I'll leave it to all the audience over here.
Yes, sir.
Because it's actually requires a quality time to discuss on this type of issues. So normally a 45, 60 minutes meeting converts this into a proper results. But my takeaway or my inputs to everybody is first, first we should understand when do we do this. Okay, that when or the trigger point is very important, and most of us miss that trigger point. And how do we come at that particular trigger point? For any particular output, there is some benchmarking which is there. Say, for example, a machine produces 100 pieces per hour, and that is being monitored. And suddenly it starts producing 99 pieces. So we tend to oversee that. 100 has come down to 99, 99, 98, 97, 100, sometimes 100. So the moment we get this trigger that yes, there is some variation from the benchmarking output, we need to start this activity, because that is the initial trigger which we should be able to sense. Okay, and then Using the tools, we can find out whether it is because of the machine, whether it is because of the materials, whether it is because of the man over working over there. So all these parameters can be found out, but most of the time the issue is taken up when it goes to a little higher level. So we started with from 100 to say 99, production drop down, but we take the action, or we start looking at the action when it reaches somewhere around 90. By that time, we already lost 10% of the production. Okay, so that is one of the input which I would like to give in terms of when to use it. Second input is about who should lead it. करेगा कौन? Because in most of the organization this is a bigger problem. So it's the ownership of the shop. So if I am operating that machine, the first ownership is with me, because I am the first person to spot it. Okay, so the first trigger should go from me as an operator to the reporting manager, and the reporting manager has to take it very seriously. Okay, sometimes it may happen that it was just one odd case that the production quantity dropped from 100 to 99, but now since it is in your radar that you are watching it, and you are continuously watching, and you are able to observe that it's a continuous, it is not going above 99, that means there is some problem somewhere. Okay, but yes, if it is 99 in one instance and then it doesn't occur again, you just record it. But it's very important that we are vigilant enough, we are also action oriented enough. Okay, third important thing about using this particular technique is involve the people over there rather than taking a unilateral conclusion decision in a closed meeting room. Always do this on the Gemba. Gemba is the workplace. Okay, so it's very important that you discuss everything in the workplace, because that is the place which will help you to see the things with your eyes rather than imagining what could have happened. Okay, so these are the three inputs when it comes to practical implementation of using this tool. Over to you, Sneha. Hope it is useful insight for all of you.
Yes, sir. Sure, the participants would enjoy your suggestions. Coming towards the 7 steps to construct a cause and effect diagram. It would be a new topic to everyone. You might find it, how should I construct this cause and effect and analyze this problem? Initially, you need to write down all your problem statements. And once you have analyzed it, what your problem statement is, means like giving you an example of fish moon. It goes, first you need to put down your problem at your head portion of the fish and draw the branches which are the main concerns. It could be people, the human resource, the technology, it could be your sales, it could be your material issue. Make a branches and write identifying these causes. You can make a note of it, and after identifying these causes, you can prioritize the causes. Like, it's the we might have heard that 20% of issue has impact on your production by 80%. If you solve this 20%, you'll be able to increase your efficiency by 80%. Also called as it is renowned as Pareto chart. That would be another interesting topic to analyze and prioritize your things. And once you have analyzed and prioritized your causes and important actions, you need to verify and investigate if these solutions which we have developed are going to work, or they need some verifications. You need to take, as Sir said, you need to include your employees, your workers, your staff, everyone, so that this decision of getting out to a problem is quite an ease process. It won't be a cumbersome process for an individual. As a manager, I won't find it quite hectic to get out of of a problem which has arisen. If the employees, if all my co-workers and the organization culture helps it, I would really work with this uh, effect and the cause and effect diagram and help me to sort this problem quite easily. After developing solutions, you can go for further steps And so I think so this would be a basic flow for constructing cause
Yes,
and
yes.
effect. There could
Yeah,
be n numbers of changes as per the departments of the manufacturing, or
yes.
it could be other fields.
Yeah, this
Coming
can be
towards,
considered a baseline. Yeah.
yeah. Now the question arises, why should we use cause and effect analysis? It could be, why should I? It's not necessary. आज तक होता आ रहा है वो हो जाएगा, कल भी हो जाएगा sort. Why should I take an effort? That could come into your mind. जाने दो ना यार. Why should I give an effort? But let me bring upon and highlight few benefits of this. Identifying this the cause and effect analysis will help you in identifying the root causes. The major issue was if the material is lacking, why is it not available in my stockroom? It could be the scarcity. That is my root cause. I need to find a solution, a permanent solution, not a temporary solution to get the out of this cause. This helps you identifying the root cause. It gives you a structured approach. You won't go Harvard. Ki, Arey, this process is happening. Why is this happening? What can be the solution? Running here and there in the operations room. This can be it's avoided in certain scenarios. You have a structured approach if you follow this analysis. It helps you in improving your product quality. It enhances your team collaboration. When you know that my senior manager, my juniors, my co-employees are helping you, they will guide you, assist you in this process. This will help you in team collaboration. And not only this, the main highlight of this cause and effect analysis is that it will prevent a reoccurrence of the same issue in the organization. I think so. This is the main reason I think so. Everyone should follow cause and effect analysis to prevent the reoccurrence and take a corrective action. Don't you think so?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Uh, Coming towards the end of the session, so what would you uh, say towards our participants?
Yeah, in fact, I would like to hear from all the participants about their takeaways because that is what we started with. That this session is a learning session, and every learning session should be attended with the intention of taking away something, isn't it? Take away with me.
Yes,
So even
yes,
one word takeaway would appreciate would help us appreciate the presenter over here. So request all of you to just mention about your takeaway for today in the last 45-50 minutes. And also, in case any queries, any doubts can be asked so that we can utilize this next 3-4 minutes for that. Okay, so let's wait for another 15-20 seconds till the time people are typing something. If not, then we will close the session for the day and then
if anyone has any question towards to implement, what could be the experience, they can share with us. And even they have a small doubt, feel free to ask. Participants, your views are important for us. What was your experience towards this 2 day series?
great. I think let's call it for the day. And then we would also like to, I mean, I would like to request 24th Mile on my behalf that come again with more such learning series. And we will also invite more people to contribute as a mentor to this learning series because this is what is I always follow in my life. Sharing is caring. The more you share, the more you care, the more you
Yes, sir.
get the benefit and the
Yes, sir.
benefit. Yeah.
A special thanks to you for guiding us and mentoring us throughout this series. And your support was quite needed for us, being a first time. It's like it was our first session through this online
Thank you. Thank
process.
you.
And
One more last
yes,
request to everybody in the in the group now. We need to thank Sneha and Joshua for their efforts, and I want you to just mention good, better, best. What is your rating for this today's presentation for Sneha and Joshua? You have only three options: either good, better, or best. There is no poor. Okay, so that is the way which we can appreciate them by giving them the real time feedback. Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Energy. Thanks a lot. And
Thank
see you
you.
sometime again. Thank you, Sneha, for inviting me for contributing something towards the industry as such, because that's very
Alright.
important. Okay, thanks a lot.
So I would give a special thanks to our chief guest, DATO Ramesh Kodammal, sir, for his presence. He took his time and gave his wonderful insights for today's event. And for the participants, really it's really heartwarming that you all took your time, you all participated, your engagement and enthusiasm. It was really great to have you all. We hope you found the sessions informative and that you'll take this learning back to your respective fields. And thank you for today.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.